There is law and there is justice. For me, it's not the same. I know it's generally understood that law brings justice, which is not true. So as we are speaking, my head is kind of spinning and kind of telling me that my thinking is incomplete in terms of, the parallel between law and art. But where do we put justice there? Where would you put it?
What I've seen in South Africa, I've experienced a law that is ugly, divisive, cruel, empowering oppression, officially racializing the state, officially denying people fundamental human rights through the law. It's telling a terrible story of injustice. The transformation as far as the legal framework is concerned to a constitutional democracy with a powerful preamble speaking about the injustices of the past, the need to rectify those injustices, the need to give space for everybody to develop their talents, the need to bring about transformation and change. So the law itself is now aiming at justice, not acting as a fortress of injustice. So law in itself, it's not beneficial in itself. I've lived through it myself, law, apartheid law, in the statute books, in the constitutions, the power of the police. Coming from Parliament, law was oppressive. Group Areas Act, race classification, forced removal, past laws, banishment, security, given total freedom to do what they wanted, to lock people up indefinitely in solitary confinement. So that was all done under the law. We'd have tiny little spaces within that to fight back, to undermine, but basically law was oppressive. Come our constitution, we spent 4 years getting our constitution. And it was drafted by 490 people, the great majority of whom had been locked up in the underground, in resistance, in exile, in the trade union movement, the women's movement, fighting for freedom, from faith communities, elected by our first non-racial democratic elections. They drafted our constitution. And they remembered the pains, and the never again principle was so strong. And they said, look, we're living in a very unjust society. The law must make our society more just. We mustn't just defend what exists against dictators and others. We have to transform. All of that's built into the Constitution. So suddenly the whole character of law changes from being an instrument of oppression to becoming a potential instrument of emancipation. But it's not there simply by declaring the law. Then you have to have the legislation, the implementation, the resources, people using their rights, civil society, everybody contributing. So I've lived through both.
It was a very important exercise in
For me, Albie, as an individual, the passion of the poor, the dreams, the hopes of the poor, that law can help with the emancipation, linking up with some of the great ideas of the ages that have been fought for in many societies against cruel despotism in many different contexts and circumstances. Those grand ideas take on a new meaning when they are now infused with the passion of the poor. So we have a text, then a wonderful text with which to work, great colleagues with a lot of passion and compassion, and also a lot of erudition, and we fought amongst ourselves quite often, quite sharply, sometimes even tears. It's not automatic and obvious, but a very, very thrilling kind of project.